So we're here on Front Street between U and O, and you can see very active scene out here. This is about as close as we can get. You see the caution tape blocking off, and because you said those live wires hanging very low near that truck, crews are still here mopping up. Just take a look over here to my left. We're just a few feet away from the derailed car. This is what we're talking about right now. All these high weeds, dry brush, this is what needs to be cleared off. This involves a risk that they're unwilling to take, and they're currently seeking what legal options they have in this case. And it's good news, good news. 5 lanes now back open. You'll see that the one truck that was left on scene is now being towed away. Here on top of the glacier at Woodward, Tahoe, where snow in June is a thing. And that's wrapping up Movers for Moms, an event that the 2 men in a truck have been holding for the last 9 years. Here they are picking up their last few loads of things. Behind these cement walls and metal gates, you'll find what you'd expect.
I was 17 years old. I did a strong arm robbery. I got 13 years and 8 months. I have 19 months left.
Here in Facility A maximum security space at Mule Creek Prison in Nyone, are some of the toughest guys around.
Well, I'm in prison for manslaughter. I've been in prison for like 10 years now.
But there's a change in the air.
Like, I'm good now.
Tender Loving Canines just started up an inmate training program. The convicts train pups to be service dogs for veterans and children with autism. It's been just over a week, and these little labs have managed to break the tension with their barks.
But when I seen the dogs on the yard, it immediately brought a joy to me. Like it made me smile, you know. And in here, smiles are kind of far and in between. They're hard to come by.
I think I have a hard heart, so like I've been doing criminal activities for so long, and I think now that I have him, he's like making me be more humble. We're in the cell, he hangs out, when he wags his tail, it lets me know that he's happy that I'm playing with him and stuff, so it makes me feel appreciated.
And brought everyone a sense of purpose with their paws.
The first day the dogs were on the yard, it was like 105 degrees, and the inmates on the yard were yelling at these guys to carry them across the yard so their feet wouldn't get hot. The yard has absolutely become invested in this program as a whole, not just the inmates in the program.
And while the end goal means their separation,
I'm in a cell with him by myself. We're single cell with the dog, so I talk to him sometime now because I don't have nobody to talk to, so I don't know how I'm going to feel when he leaves, but hopefully I feel good when he leaves.
It's clear the impact of these 4-legged animals will go beyond the senses these men will serve within these walls.
I always knew how to train dogs by like abusing them and yelling at them and telling them to do certain things.
Now he's learned positive reinforcement.
I would think that like my growing up as well, maybe if I was raised like that, like instead of always getting in trouble, getting beat when I was a kid for doing negative things, and it was more understanding, I wouldn't have probably been in prison.
My dad didn't like it at all, and one day he just told me, like, he brought a gun and he just put it next to him. He said, either you stay home, or if you go out, I'll shoot you.
When asked about whether he misses peaceful times in Syria, 29-year-old refugee Subi Nahas says such a thing never existed for him. This morning, Nahas was celebrated for being himself, but that freedom was not one he exercised in his youth.
Home was really like a scary place because I couldn't do anything. I was like constantly monitored by my mom and my dad, and my dad became really violent.
As a gay individual in the Middle East, his war started well before 2011.
It's not okay to be gay or like lesbian or like LGBT in general in the Middle East. You're persecuted, you're killed, you're imprisoned.
Really, even before he was born.
Even if in countries where there's no laws to criminalize homosexuality, still traditions makes it really difficult.
For years, Nahas believed he was the only person of his kind in the world. And though his story saddens, it also strangely uplifts.
I just think he was just meant to do what he's doing, and I just hope that he can share his story to more people, especially young people who are struggling, because he is just a story of hope.
While he's uncertain what his future holds or his role in it, he's certain that sharing his role in this world is key to making any impact.
To spread the word, to make people aware of this, and to make it like a case where people can address the situation and the issue, it's essential because this is where change starts.
Awesome.
The story of Daphne and Bob Griffin is one most people only dream about.
They were perfect, and there's no way to describe it. They were perfect.
I met him about 10 years prior to his proposing. He was widowed, and later on I was widowed.
What started with a cup of coffee quickly turned to so much more, and the pair became as deeply rooted in each other as this redwood tree in Daphne's front yard.
Then our second date, we went to the state fair, and that's where we got Mr. Tree. He was a sapling at the forestry exhibit there.
And it wasn't long after they planted that tree that Bob proposed to Daphne. He did it on their bench in Crescent City at sunset. As their love grew, so did Mr. Tree, celebrating every milestone with them. Marriages, birthdays.
Even though people think, oh, it's just a tree, it has been with them their entire relationship.
So when Bob got sick, what happened next didn't seem to surprise anyone.
As Bob sickened and got weak, the tree started to wither. And then Bob passed, and the tree passed. This year, just gave up the ghost. So I kind of think that tree was our symbol, and it's gone.
But Daphne's granddaughter had other plans.
We wanted to keep it. We didn't know what to do with it, but somehow we were going to keep it.
I have to make sure there's gas in it.
And that's where artist Jesse Groshin comes in.
They saw a chair I carved in Roseville, and they wanted a chair, but the chair was too small. And so the story kept evolving as like the subject matter of what it would be. And then I set a bench, and then I had the idea to do an angel.
And once again, it only made sense that the tree stayed put. Because while Bob's no longer at Daphne's side, she's sure he's not gone.
Yes, I think it's wonderful. I feel him around. I know he's still here, so.
I hope you guys are ready, because I'm ready for the big reveal of what we're calling the Citrus Heights Redwood Angel. Of course, I was like trying to do this. Boom! Is that not beautiful? Jessie, the artist behind this, did such a wonderful job. She even threw on a little bit of paint there, and I don't know if you could tell, but the middle of the angel is actually a carving of a redwood tree. So it kind of just ties everything back together. In the serene setting of Northern California's Motherlode.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, cool. Lead on, friend.
Past winter's wet not only means present lush green, but also shining bright gold.
This area is called, this is Staffel Claim, and they came out here and claimed it in the early 1900s.
Ready for the taking.
This year, with tremendous amount of rain and how much snowpack is left there, and what it does is uncover the heavier gold that's out in the middle of the stream. So it will be easier to get to it.
But that's not all.
Well, you know, it's known by the people locally, but a lot of people outside don't know about it because it's not on any of the per se maps that I know.
This Forest Service spot is no secret to the locals, but there's definitely a secret to it.
Well, this area right here, back in the early part of this year when we had the heavy floods, this would have been underwater. This would have been a really serious stream going through here. Is that when you have events like this with flooding, is immediately after when the water goes down, look for spots where the water velocity suddenly changes to slowing, and that's where you're going to get the deposits of gold. I came through 4 months ago, the minute the water went down, and I was actually able to go through and pick up small nuggets.
Timing is everything.
But those are long since picked over. If you don't know about this ahead of time, you missed out on it. That's all done.
And though the joy isn't just in the find,
Nothing there.
when things do pan out, the rush is like nothing else.
It's a feeling that you could go all day long and not find anything, and then all of a sudden you just unearth this one piece of gold that you can pick up, and you go, wow, you know, okay, this is what it's all about.
Yourself a piece of gold, maybe this big, whatever, and you look at it, and you're the first person to ever see it in 40 million years. It's called passion.